You're listening to the Learn Like a CPA podcast, where we talk about all things real estate, tax strategy, and personal finance. Whether you're a real estate investor looking to scale your portfolio, or you're an individual wanting to take your financial freedom journey to the next level, this is a podcast for you. Welcome back, everyone, to the Learn Like a CPA show. I'm your host, Ryan. Today, we're going to talk about a recent deal that I did with a partner, actually. So this partner, we met through Instagram, actually, back when I had 400, 500 followers. And he ended up becoming a client of mine, but also we built this relationship where we were kind of like-minded individuals, had everything going for us, and we wanted to see what we could do. And he ended up finding an off-market deal where the numbers made a ton of sense. And what I wanted to explain is, in real estate, what's interesting is you need time. So somebody has to have the time to do something. You need the experience. People need to know what they're doing, why they're doing, and how to do it. And you also need capital. So where are you actually going to get the money from? How are you going to source the loan with the bank, etc. So you need time, experience, and capital. But what's interesting in real estate is you don't necessarily need all three. You could have the time and the experience, but not the money. Okay, well, find somebody to partner with you to bring in the money. You might have the money and the experience, but maybe you don't necessarily have the time. Okay, so you can find deals and fund the deals, but maybe you don't have the time to make the deal go. That's fine. And like I said, in real estate, you need all three. You have to have all three, but you don't necessarily need to bring all three yourself. And this is exactly what we did. So he had the time and the experience. He says, hey, I got this awesome deal, but I need a little bit of cash. I have no business in the state that this property is located at, right? I most likely will never see this property or ever step foot inside of this property for that matter, but I have the capital, right? And so when you're able to combine those forces together, in real estate, it becomes a very powerful thing, right? Because then you're able to get deals done quicker and build your wealth faster. So to share some of the numbers, we were able to lock this property under contract for $155,000. And the fair market value at the date, so the appraisal came back and actually this property was worth $220,000. So immediately we walked into almost $70,000 of equity, meaning we purchased the property for less than what the bank thinks it's worth, which means we have equity on the table, right? So our net worth goes up $70,000 just by buying the property, right? The rehab cost is going to be about $17,400. And so if we add our purchase price and the rehab costs, we're all in for $172,488. What's nice is once we get this property rented out, which we think it's going to be $2,400, we can go to the bank and get a new appraisal, and it's going to appraise around $270,000 is what we think. And so when we refinance at 80% loan to value, we're going to be able to pull $216,000 out. So we have $172,000 in, we pull $216,000 out. We're able to make money on this deal and pull all of our money out, making money, and then now we have a rental property that's going to cash flow every single month. And so this is a combination of, we use the BRRRR method, which is buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat, in order to build wealth, but we also did it together, right? Being able to scale operations with a partner, make it efficient. One of the things I would say when you're working with a partner, especially if both of you are bringing money to the table, is you want to have an operating agreement in place to outline what happens if so-and-so wants to go their separate ways. What happens if so-and-so gets sick or injured or they pass away, right? All these different types of things that you have to think about that most people aren't thinking about when they're starting their partnership. They're only thinking of the bright lights and what they could do within their partnership, but they're not thinking of, hey, what does the good, the bad, the ugly look like? So if you're investing with partners, if you have other people on your deals, make sure you have an operating agreement in place. You might want to run it by an attorney also, just because it's going to outline everything that's going to go on. Who's responsible for the repair costs? How are the distributions going to be? Who gets the preferred return, right? All these types of things you want outlined in the operating agreement. But this was an awesome deal, and I wanted to share it with you guys just because it kind of shows you some more of the numbers. And anybody can do this, right? Again, you don't need to have the capital. Maybe you don't have the capital. Okay, well, if you don't have the capital, most likely you have the time and you can learn how to get the experience from doing it. So you're watching podcasts like this, you're reading books, you're going to mastermind events, getting that experience of how to do the deal, even though you don't have your own capital, or vice versa, right? You might have the capital, but you haven't done anything yet, right? Maybe you're sitting on 50 grand, 100 grand. You don't have the time or the experience. So that's one way that you can partner with people to get that deal across the finish line, right? So in real estate, again, you need three things: time, experience, and capital. But all three do not have to be provided by you. Make sure you leverage partners to get your deals across the finish line. That's all that I got for today's episode. Quick and short, guys. If you like the show, make sure you leave a review. If you have a question you want to see on the podcast, hit me up on Instagram or Twitter. It's going to be @LearnLikeACPA. Drop me a question and maybe you'll see it on the next podcast. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. We'll see you in the next episode.